Today I'm going to share with you one of my out-of-body experiences, but one in which the events could seem a little bit spooky to some people. So I wanted to tell you how it was and what I did to get out of it. Hi, what a nice opportunity for all of us to be able to talk about the out-of-body experience. And I would like to emphasize that here we not only talk about the out-of-body experience, but all the different phenomena that are related to the fact that our lives, as it seems, is not only a physical realm of reality. And the reason why I wanted to share with you today an out-of-body experience is because I have been hearing so many people saying, I am afraid that this or that event may happen to me, or what do I do if I meet someone outside the body that doesn't look nice? And fear is one of the aspects that disturb a lot for how we are going to be relaxed, take advantage of our experience outside the body, be able to be free out there, and even be able to recall the experience. If you have not watched a video I did about how to learn with someone else's out-of-body experience, please do so. I especially did that video so that you can better take advantage not only of the experience that I tell you, but also of the experience that you hear from anybody. I also want to remind you that reality in the non-physical world is multi-layered. So when we move or translocate from one place to another, that can be done in the same frequency or in the same dimension, same layer, from one point to another, but that can also be done through different frequencies going to different dimensions, subtler one or denser one, depending on which level of reality that is. So just keep this in mind because we are going to need this concept. And in another video, I can explain to you further about the different dimensions and how the non-physical reality is formed. It's very important that we understand whys and hows. Anyway, the specific out-of-body experience I want to share with you is one in which I recovered my awareness, meaning I was lucid, knowing I was outside the body when I was already in a place that I don't know exactly how I got there. Maybe it's just a part of the projection which I do not remember, or maybe a part in which I was not so lucid. When the experience starts, I noticed that there was like a couple of people looking like male trying to ask for something. You know, more or less when you have someone that you approaches you in the street and asks for an information or try to get something from you, maybe a help or maybe ask for something, or people who live on the streets. So it was more or less the feeling. Somehow in my mind was like, they are in need of something, or, a little lost because sometimes consciousnesses who are in between lives, they can be a little lost. But anyway, that lured my attention, that brought my attention to them. But once I kind of came closer, and coming closer is not distance, was more like putting attention on them, reinforcing some sort of energy connection, allowing them somehow to get closer to me energetically. Then I noticed that they would bring a further idea, and then another one, and this would make me come closer and closer to them, aiming to help in some way, or to see what they were trying to communicate. And that was absolutely natural. I had no fear. There was no immediate danger of anything. It's just a normal projection. But then all of a sudden, with them attracting my attention and kind of bringing me to their reality, all of a sudden I noticed that they brought me to an environment in which it was not as natural, because it looked more like a dungeon, or a place where people would be, hiding underground or something like this. So then I noticed that the whole point that they had was to, make me get closer to that environment which had a certain specific information to it, and that's why I was not comfortable. So immediately when I look around, okay, there were no specific doors. It's not like you are in a museum and there's something pointing exit. So what did I do in that environment? Immediately, I started working with my energies or doing some procedures with my energies until I reached the Velo technique, which I teach you here. And Velo has many different results that comes from it, or many different benefits. But in that moment, I did specifically with the intention of changing the frequency of my astral body, my non-physical body. Because when I change deeply the energies and the vibrations of the energies there, I can just completely disconnect from one specific dimension or layer in the non-physical dimension and poof, appear in another. I had done this before in different ways, just, working with energies outside the body, just doing the Velo, but in that specific day, I did it as a escape technique. The results came very fast, and I was very positively surprised because I was seeing the environment, but at that point I could see not only those two non-physical people that I had there, or spirits, but also like 4 or 5 of them. And all of a sudden it started getting like, not foggier, but when it gets more transparent, it was all in a very brief period of time. But quickly I was getting out of syntony. I was completely disconnecting and getting out of any resonance with that environment and with those people that were until then luring me. And I went to a completely different environment, much brighter in a way, because the previous one I told you felt more like a dungeon. It was strange and heavy, not in the way it looked, but in the energetic feeling. Whilst the other one was absolutely normal. However, in this other place that I went to, I did not have any connection with any consciousness that would be there in that environment, someone in between life or someone also outside the body. It was just me, and I remember that I started to fly in that place, and my recollection stops there. I returned to the body soon after this, and when I returned, immediately I remembered everything. Now, I studied a lot this experience because I was studying how Velo works. As you probably know, I did over 15 years of research on the Velo technique because I practice. But not only I practice, but I also teach the technique and I observe the results. And we just had a very general understanding of how the technique worked and a very general understanding of vibrational state, which is one of the sensations that we may have from the technique. And one of the reasons why this technique is also very good to help us not only control our experience when we are outside the body, but also help us produce with more ease the out-of-body experience. And by all means, if you are lucid outside the body, try working, acting, taking control of your subtle energies. So I wish you wonderful experiences. If this video was useful, please remember to give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel if you are not already subscribed. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.